all quiet on the Katabatic front. This little sprinkling of asteroids here, and the big old radio station just coming into view.
Approaching the Katabasis relay. Enemy communications installation in sight. No other radar contacts or emissions detected.
They definitely saw us burning in. If they haven't started emergency destruction, they will now. We need to get aboard in the next few minutes, or we'll be left with nothing for Intel to exploit. These relays are mostly automated, which means a small personnel count. It'll take them time, but we can't hesitate.
Admiral, I suggest we move quickly.
I do like the greater kind of like lore implication about this, because it's like, okay, how do signals get relayed across like this large expanse of space that we're in? Well, you have these comms relays. Okay, these comms relays act as kind of like a telephone tower thing, just sending signals in towards the Fortuna area. So all of our actions here probably got broadcast into this relay, which then gets bounced towards these proximate areas here. So there's receiving dishes.
Send your traffic.
It's very like kind of lived in, or feeling like it's a world that exists outside of just your immediate campaign. And I like that a lot when games do it, because I feel it adds a lot to the kind of immersiveness, where you're not so much like because, well, in a story, obviously the story is going to revolve around like your focused character thing. It feels more like you're a part of the world, and the world exists around like just kind of, I don't know, not explicitly you. It's hard to describe it exactly, but I like the feel of it. Just, you are a part of the world as it is moving along in its lifetime.
Heading there now.
So we're gonna go ahead and get over towards the old Katabatics, because we need to get those comms things online. Yeah. So get our stuff launched on flight quarters. See our 3 sundials come up here.
Ready.
Here we are, high tower flights. Good stuff. Move you guys over this way. We will then move our Vigilant sundial, and then lastly, we will have our Archangel sundial go low.
Consider it done.
Be good.
Standing by. We hear you, Command.
Receiving.
All right, set you guys on 2/3 speed. We'll maintain unit cohesion here. Go for the rocks there.
Standing by. Course laid in.
Got a job for us? Wired and confirmed.
Burner's hot. Acknowledge.
Guys
Send
up.
your traffic.
Minefield detected. All ships, hold position immediately.
We'll need to deal with these from a distance. Our ships can use RPF and SAM shot to hit them from range, and our fighters are also small enough to get in and take them out without triggering their magnetic sensors.
So I like how they've done this, where they pull up the cutscene so it automatically snaps it back to 1x speed. So if anyone was blitzing in here, they won't just forehead their way into the minefield. It's a good change. I say good change. It's a good design decision. And then you can just send your fighters out here and deal with this. It's a good introduction to, hey, mines exist. This is something to be aware of. They might not always be as visible as this, so keep your ideas up. This will tie into the next level as we kind of go about things. Watch they commit to hard burn and should just clean up all of this nicely.
What can we do for
You
you,
guys go full
Commander?
speed. Go.
Wiring.
See these all
Missiles
just
on
get
the
cleaned up
schedule.
quickly as the fighters kind of go do their thing. Pew, 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 pew. Very nice.
Receiving.
Alright.
Understood.
Back to business.
Commands on. We are en route. Moving to that position.
You can go at regular speed.
Standing
You guys,
by.
same story here. Weapons tight.
Awaiting your orders, Commander.
Doors going long. Alright, we'll send Winter Chain, because Winter Chain has done a bunch of the boarding before, so hey,
We're on the
may as
way,
well keep it
Commander.
going.
We'll get it done.
Alrighty. A little bit of lag going on there, so I'm going to actually order all my
Standing by.
fighters to RTB, because I don't think there's anything left in this level. I'd be surprised if there was, because I remember this is kind of like the rest level after you get the joy that was the previous one. If you need a little break, you can have this one afterwards. And yeah,
We're
good
on
stuff.
the way, Commander.
Alright. So, relay, if you would be so kind. You can also see the boarding point here is not actually a physical like area. It's just the point where they're like, alright, we're going to cut through this wall.
Okay, this is Cutlass. We're in and encountering resistance. We're pushing towards station control. We'll update. Over.
So yeah, Cutlass kicks the door, and being Cutlass, they're badass as hell, so we love them for that.
Ready.
We're going to keep ourselves moving along here. I will orient
Acknowledged.
to hit this docking point here.
Heading there now,
Go.
Commander. Turn.
We've reached the control room. Deploying data spike.
The data spike is the kind of just in-universe way of like hacking. You know,
This is Cutlass. We've secured the relay. No casualties. Most of the crew has been killed, and we're heading back with what we've got. There's a lot to go through here.
Understood, Cutlass. Pass it off to Intel as soon as you're back aboard.
you know how in like Titanfall they've got like the hacking knife that you stab into something and does its magical wizardry? My understanding is the data spike is kind of like that, where it's their like super heavy thumb drive. They just plug in and it yoinks all the data that it can onto its container, and then they have Intel pour over that.
Ready.
There you go. Yep. Okay, Wimdy, if you could be so kind as to land all of those crafts so we stop the lag. Very nice. There we go. Everyone back on board. No one go silly and go upwards, okay?
Receiving.
I'm doing a particular thing here. This was also something I had kind of suggested or pushed for a little bit, because previously this docking point was just on the station because it was like, oh, well, there needs to be a way to like have people actually get on board. But now there is, if we...
What are our orders,
okay.
Commander?
There we are. See here, there is actually a little bit of fuel here. 6 pips exactly. So, this is kind of important because, as you might notice, your destroyers have only 2 pips of fuel. So, if you gas up here before you, say, head to Caltrop, you can avoid having to refuel in the level. So, it's a nice little thing.
Command's on the line.
Yeah, we'll take 3 pips of fuel to here. The plan is to go to Caltrop. It is possible to do the campaign without going to Caltrop. It's harder, but it is possible. So if you want to go no oiler runs as a challenge, you are welcome to do that. I, however, like having ammunition, so I'm going to go there. And it also makes your refueling replenishment a little bit easier. So, yeah, let's grab our gas here and go from there.
Reading you.
Do-do-do. Alright, then we'll just grab the rest of it, and there we are. Now we have enough fuel to, with 3 pips, go 1, 2, and then exit the level where we can do refueling in between levels scene. Fun story. At one point when I was doing my campaign, when I was first testing things, it bugged out, so I couldn't actually use between level replenishment.
Executing your orders.
This was a interesting time. I'm glad that you all don't have to deal with that because we correctly fixed whatever was causing that. But it was certainly a odd, annoying thing to have to manually replenish all of my ships inside of a room at the end of it. That took me a good while, so yeah. Still finished the campaign with reasonable amounts of survivability despite all the stuff there. Let's go to Beggar's Hollow then, shall we? Because this was kind of a short
Moving
level.
out, Commander.
Number 3, you should stay with number 2 in formation. There you go. Yeah, fun little stuff there from testing.
Turning up the engines now.
I will like mention certain bugs. There was just like a little funny or a little story time things that happen because I feel like it's not that harmful to share these fun little anecdotes and things that we've made better. Because I am very happy with how the campaign came together and the contributions I made. I don't think that they'll get too upset if I just say, "Hey, this is a funny bug." Like, you know, like the German bug was recently fixed, where the planet, if you can see it, where is it not visible yet? It might not be visible yet. Yeah, Fortuna off in the background.
Standing by.
Yeah, there it is. This one used to bug out with the German version of the game because of how they do decimals. So the German version, where we, in, like, you know, English would do like say 100,000 with 100, comma 000. German version did 100 period 000. So it was a decimal instead of a comma, and that changes some things regarding math. Neb's Mass is all supposed to be done in English, but for some reason, the German version would, like, manage to allow that in. So Fortuna got turned into this giant, like, white eyeball because some property broke. This was a very interesting bug to hunt down and figure out, but has since been fixed and made into patch notes, so it's a little fun time. Unfortunately, Hans the Gas Giant is no longer in the game, so there you go. Alright, let's get out of here, shall we?
Standing by.
Never figured that as a possible issue. Neither did we. None of us could figure it out for the longest time until someone just asked us, like, "Hey, wait, hang on. Are you playing... Like, you're German, right? Yeah? Are you playing in German? Yeah." And then it all made sense as the number thing went. Yeah. No, not Hans. Yep, sorry. Hans, the gas giant, has been removed. They switched to more sustainable fuels now instead of gas. Alright, let's get the hell out of here, Scoob. Whee! And there we go. Yeah, Katabasis is a short, small level. Nothing really happens. There's people who talked about adding on like other threats or like stuff to attack here or like reinforcements that arrive because they've called. But I think it kind of makes more sense. It's like, okay, yeah, there's a minefield left here. It's a small skeleton crew. This is their like limited defense in case something wanders in close. And because we cleared it so fast, they weren't able to put out the call to anyone nearby in time to like, show up and brawl us. Plus, I think structure-wise, it's really good to have a break level after something like Anacrusis, because that is a good like fight for the early, I'd say like first zone kind of ending of the game. Then Catabase is just your transition period. So yeah, all right. Not every mission needs to be constant fleet action. Yep, it is important to do pacing. If you have everything constantly like action all the time, you are going to exhaust your player base. It is good to have like some highs and some lulls, and just have this kind of like wavering action pace there. That's how good storytelling works. Because in a way, if you have your campaign have a couple like kind of lower or steadier points, it makes it so the high points feel a lot more interesting because you get this like up and down tempo going. Yeah, good times. Still can't repair or replenish anything, but this will just be like a 2-parter on YouTube or single-parter because I figure I could just bundle this with the next level. Which, by the way, this next level, Beggar's Hollow, has my favorite introduction in like the entire campaign. Let me show you.
Mists, this is Windy. Over.
This is Mists. Roger. We found a racist to hide in, and we can't move without exposing ourselves. Radar picked up something big, and we think it can't maneuver in tight places. Whatever it is, they've mined the exits and have been prowling out there ever since.
Acknowledge, Mists. Sit tight, we'll investigate and get you out of there.
So yeah, I love the introduction like
Standing
that
by.
because it sets the scene where it's like you get to watch as the frigate is like, yeah, we had to lay low. We have all these missiles, but we are scared. They've mined the exits. We can't get out of this. And then it's like, okay, there is something
Yes,
big
Commander.
on this map. And then they give you like the tease that they like, fly up. I'm pretty sure it's on this rock. Oh yeah, you can see the you can see because of the thrust because we've paused it here. But it's like, oh yeah, here is the big thing, the Marauder. This is the first time that a lot of these ships are actually going to encounter this Marauder, because while a couple of them did go through and attack like the other side, which I think was Crebensis, right? Yeah, Crebensis over there. It is one of the threats of like, most people will not have encountered these before because the Protectorate, they blockaded the gate and you haven't gone through. Yeah. Hammer and Anvil, T30 Plasma, very appropriate. Yep, Hammer and Anvil, having started curating Zircon with the obelisks, I'm pretty happy to see it. Yeah, cool shit. All right, let's, because we know roughly where the enemy's going to be. Let's start moving ourselves up that way. Get to our initial launch of craft here, like so. There we go. And then alert fighters will set on Void Suit. So, I just realized I can edit that loadout. We are going to rename this to be Void Suit. That's funny. There we go. Void Soup. Done. Apply. And I did hit launch, right? I did not hit launch. Okay, Void Soup, you're going to launch a sortie of 8, and that will be good. Yippee. Okay, let's get our heading set and then move upwards. Well, actually, down is going to be where these guys can rally at. So we will move here first.
Moving to that position.
Have our battle group
Moving out,
advance
Commander.
correctly, and then our
Awaiting
beam
your
destroyers kind of go
orders,
towards.
Commander.
Let's put them on the underside of this rock, since we know roughly
be
the
there
enemy's going to
before
be
you know
over
it.
like here-ish. Bit of meta knowledge from like the cutscene and such, and also having played this a bunch, but we don't know exactly what they're going to maneuver, so have to play accordingly.
Ready.
You would not believe how many people I have watched lose this ship to mines because they just saunter out and then realize, oh shit, that's a sprint mine. Yeah, the best advice is to keep this thing here for now, and then you can do things afterwards. You could, if you want to, try and like blindly fire missiles out and then like loop them up and around and hit this thing, but
Awaiting orders.
I don't think we need to do that, right? That feels a little too geeky. Looks a spy. Yeah,
Standing
who would
by.
ever do something like that, you know, right?
Copy
Who would
that,
lose
Commander.
their ship that way?
Aye,
Let's
Commander.
set your PD
Moving
turrets to
out.
dedicated so I don't waste RPF rounds.
Awaiting orders,
In a
Commander.
second, you should get your whole air wing up, right? And then that'll be good. We'll just keep launching Santos sorties after we're done here. We need the bombers first, though. There we go. Bombers, torpedoes. It's not necessarily wrong for us to use a sortie of torp bombers.
Moving to that
But it does have
position.
swing arm launchers, so maybe we'll put like the torp bombers along this rock here in case it unmasks on us, and we'll
Send your
play
traffic.
according to it from there. Alright, let's get you back to full speed since you are good for the moment. Free flight happening, free flight happening. Then show up on the deck.
Receiving.
Alrighty.
We'll get
Get
it
our
done,
stuff set
Commander.
correctly. We're gonna
Send
do
your
loom
traffic.
loom to the right,
Falling in.
stout to the left,
Forming up.
and chain is gonna be a bit below so it unmasks first.
Falling into formation.
Microtask is constantly refreshing cap blades. Yep, the combat air patrol stuff. That is partially why I think that it is best to have
Course
a
laid
person
in.
on just like the flagship and someone else
Ready
managing
when
like
you
the
are, Commander.
long range battle group,
Quiet.
and then beam
Commands
destroyers
on
and
the
kind of
line.
play accordingly to whoever has it. So yeah, 2-player co-op is definitely nice for this campaign since managing all this
Awaiting
stuff, while it
orders,
is
Commander.
doable, is a bit of work. Oh, okay, we are detected here,
Moving to
so
that position.
trying to get our scouting flights out. I think there's
Locking
early
in.
warning or something on this level.
Got a job
It's been a
for
hot
us?
minute. I don't remember exactly where
Wired
stuff
and
is.
confirmed.
Plus, I have not played this since the 1.0 launch kind of went out. Like, I
Wired
played
and
some
confirmed.
levels to like playtest, but I haven't done a whole like sit down and go through. So
Receiving.
I'm a little bit blind, depending on what adjustments may have been made for the final
Aye,
version.
aye, Commander.
That
Moving
group tried to
out.
play with 10 people. Okay, I will say this. We did do a 10-player test night on the like last couple levels just to see if it was possible. We got through it without any major bugs, and it played quite nicely. We called shots, coordinated things. I got to play the flagship in that, so I was real happy getting torpedo bombings out. And
We're
it worked
ready when you
pretty
are,
damn well.
Commander. Moving out,
Um,
Commander.
Admittedly, it was a little
Understood.
bit later
We're
on.
en
That
route.
might be the Marauder. What is that? That is bow on to us. Okay. Let's get some jamming on that, 'cause I don't know what you are. It's possible that's the Marauder. It's possible that's a tug.
Awaiting
Only one
orders,
way to
Commander.
find out is going to be direct fire missile.
Launching
I'm
missiles.
lazy. Actually, that is going to hit a rock, isn't it? Yes, okay. Let's pause for now. The other group is the least coordinated message stuff. Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm going to be real. It is not always the campaign's fault, the coordination and issues that some people experience. Sometimes it is
Missile
just,
tube clear.
let's just say that some people have negative synergy with each other when they try and play games.
Receiving.
It is a very real thing to deal with. Okay, we're going to get you guys
We're
into
on our
cover.
way.
We don't want to immediately get got by this.
Hold fire. We lost the target.
Oop. Hold
Standing
fire.
by.
What do you mean hold fire? No, keep the jamming going, please. Thank
Missile
you.
warning.
Okay, right. Pause for the second here. Jam on that
Jamming the
position,
enemy.
thank you. Fighter wing, we want you going down over here. Actually, we'll have you go over this way to clear those out. Your second fighter wing should be ready to go in a second. So, let's park you over here-ish for now, since that's a good spot to hide Windy. It's Wimdy. Okay, let's get a lock on
Ready.
target. Oh, it's Clipper. Okay, so we confirmed that
What
that
can we
is
do for you,
not
Commander?
the
We're on our
big
way.
ship, but we know that it is one of the early ones. And since we're still detected over here, and we appear to have a rock between us, we can deduce that there's something else
Missile on
spotting
the
us.
scope.
So let's have a look
Got a
around and
job
see if
for
we can
us?
find out what that is. 'Cause if we're detected here, right? 4 and 5. Yeah, 5 is detected here. There's got to be something like in that direction, or maybe it's up or down. Hard to say. These are mines because I can't snap them exactly. We'll see how things go. All right. This should give us visual on it, and maybe force chaff off something else. So we'll see if that pops or not.
Ready, wizard.
You aware down here. All
Settle
right,
down.
Comet Flight. I need you guys to engage on those. Minimal synergy, maximum comedy.
Standing
That is
by.
definitely a thing that has happened. Okay, we can see there is a there is a early warning Bloodhound Tug here with flak and chaff launch, so is a concern.
Send
How
traffic.
badly do we want that dead is a question, though. I don't think we need to, like, invest a whole bunch of missiles on it. I'm going to have my alert, like, flights deal with
Red
these
Wizard.
areas first and foremost, because
Consider it
I'd rather
done.
not get, like, Spiker
job
jump
for
scared
us?
all the time. Let them do this. There we are.
We're ready.
Comet, you guys can take those out. Okay.
We're ready when you are,
Beam
Commander.
destroyers are roughly in positions we want them to be. Maybe adjust them slightly. We saw that for a second.
We'll be
Yep, there we are. That's the borrowed time, so we're going to beam that thing as soon as we can. Put an attack marker under it. Such. There we are. We get different lines for when mines are spotted. I kind of hope so too, but I understand why they just use the missile thing, because coding-wise, these are just missiles, so it checks out in a way, but it is also scary a little bit. Alright, guys, if you would be so kind as to get down there and hit those mines, that'd be
Consider it done.
great.
Missile warning.
Alright, borrowed time is still over
Receiving.
there. Let's have you guys
Understood.
lock
We're
that
en
up,
route.
shall we?
Ready.
Stout and Loom,
Awaiting orders, Commander.
go.
Quiet. Commands on the line.
Aha! We see something else up here. What are you? You are a real ship.
Yes,
Okay, that is
Commander.
potentially a problem. That, I think, is the liner. Given the positioning. Let us get those torpedo bombers we wanted on standby. Why are you not... okay, now you're just launching them. Took you a hot second. We'll launch a second flight as we may need them. And keep more of our Void Soups around. We don't have any alert fighters right now.
Send it, Wizard.
You guys just take out those sprinter mines, and then you guys could
Directive received.
these killed. That's great. Okay. Borrowed time. Are you guys in position to beam that? You are. Okay, we're gonna have you guys drop your altitude slightly and then go back
Turning up
in.
the engines
It
now.
should mean that you unmask once this guy swings around the corner.
Awaiting your orders,
Actually, with the
Commander.
positioning, you're pretty good to just pop down as you
We are
were.
en route, Commander.
He's only going after our long lance
We're on our
formation,
way.
so keep our jamming active on that vector,
First
since I don't want him to have free intel.
Understood.
You're
We're
just
en
cycling
route.
now, but that should keep us safe in a second.
Awaiting your
Have
orders,
you jam this
Commander.
guy as you come out here. Whip, there we go, on target. It's minimal damage, but it's enough to hit that Bloodhound and other systems, so good. There we go.
Awaiting your
Good
orders,
lock
Commander.
and beam. Whew. Move you along a little
We'll
bit
be there
forward since
before
we
you
want
know
you
it.
to keep
We'll
on
be there
that.
before you know it.
You are, I
Aye,
think, good to
Commander.
just
Moving
pop
out.
this dude with some
Copy.
high explosive.
Opening fire.
Maybe up a little bit. Don't want to
We're
get
on
too
our
far,
way.
though. Comet Flight has cleared out this avenue. Very cool. Disperse
Awaiting
these
your
mists.
orders,
Let's have
Commander.
you start moving carefully along the rock wall here. And then out the bottom like such. Safe enough for us? Okay. As for you, Comet Flight, you're just going to stay airborne for
We're on.
now. Don't need to do too much here.
Missile detected.
Heads up, crew.
You're going to keep down here since that gives us good vision.
Consider it
So we'll
done.
attach you on like so.
Standing by.
Beams should be ready to go if
We've
they
lost
get
the
any
target.
closer. Nope,
Holding
they won't.
fire.
Okay. We're still
Turning up
detected
the
by
engines
something,
now.
but I don't see what.
Heads
Which
up,
is rather
crew.
suspicious. Nope, more of those mines over here.
Got a job for us?
But where is that other thing
Consider it
spotting
done.
us then? 'Cause it's something out here.
Directive received.
Alright, there he is again.
Quiet.
Let's
Commands
lock him
on
up.
the line.
There you are again. So I do not want to get unmasked on here, so we're going to burn best speed and fire beams. You are also going to apply jamming and gunfire. And with any luck, we should stay out of weapons range here. He's doing a good job using his thrusters here to strafe out, so we'll have
Waiting for
Dozer
ya.
Flight on standby in case
Fire
he needs
confirmed.
some help. Means we should also get
Send it,
Lancer
Wizard.
Flight up here quickly to act as potential intercept for any SDM-2s or AMMs he might have. Confirm that is in
What are
fact
our
a
orders,
line ship.
Commander?
If there was ever any doubt.
Let's scrub
Fire
their
beams
signal.
and go for it. Yep.
Turning up
Pick
the
your flank
engines
thrusters.
now.
Let's get you back into
Incoming.
cover. Yeah, that is a lot of
Moving
fire
back
coming at
west.
us. Ooh, this is scary. However, he has not
Hear you,
managed to
Command.
deal the most damage because we managed to avoid his pinpoint lock,
We'll be there
Tracking
before you
missile.
know it.
I think, anyways. All right,
What can we
Dozer,
do for
if
ya?
you would be so kind. You know, I think we just commit for it.
Flight alarm received.
Commit. Launch, 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 launch. All right, good. We don't need you guys to
Acknowledged,
commit any
Wizard.
further now because you've already got your
Fire
torps out.
received.
This is a wonderful unmask. You should have a minimal chance of us getting
Quiet. Commands
hit
on the
here.
line.
Let's
I
keep
don't
your
think
beams
we
and
can
stuff
hit
on
that one,
target.
Commander.
Fire
Right away.
jamming. You guys also fire jamming. Continuous cycle. Go, 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 go. Should mess them up real good. Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful strike. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, yeah, so that threat has pretty much been removed. Cancel B short. This guy's on. That is a absurd amount of damage we just dealt. And yeah, that's how you deal with liners. A little bit meta knowledge because I knew the rough positioning, but we did that without even getting like a single STM2. Oh, it's going to reactor bloom. I'm not surprised.
On station.
Well, that might mean that we don't get to hear the dialogue of them talking about that being the Marauder class.
Receiving.
But
We
hang
hear
on,
you,
this
Commander.
was kind of fun.
We're underway.
Let's have you guys get up over.
We're on.
I want to get the borrowed
What are
time.
our
Okay,
orders,
you should
Commander?
be out of the rock any second now. So let's flip this over for ease. Where's our carrier at? There's our carrier. Okay, so you'll go up this way and then out over this way. I think that's the
Turning up
only
the
threat on this
engines now.
level.
What
Oh,
can
yeah.
we do for you,
It's full
Commander?
yeah, that's obelisks for you when you get hit by 8 fucking torpedoes, 2 beams, and then a
We're ready when
250
you are,
CL.
Commander.
It's almost like they fold a little bit.
Understood.
That
We're
said,
en route.
that unmask there, if you don't know what this thing is going into it, that is scary as all hell. Like plasma and 100 mil firing at you, terrifying. These guys are just going to retreat, and frankly, I don't really care to chase them down. I might take out the mines, since I think that they do still occupy some space, and that's kind of annoying to see pop up. So we will be doing that like so. Shouldn't be too close, right? That's actually a little close for comfort. We'll just have you loiter for now.
Copy that.
Receiving.
You guys can all MCon, but yeah. Game Dolly still plays if you get
What
where
are
it
our
used to be.
orders, Commander?
Game does maintain the position of exploded ships. I think that it might. This was a consideration we made during testing. Let's just
We're
put
ready when
a
you are, Commander.
little
Mission
defend
fuel
marker
spent, RTB.
here, so we remember where that is. Hello? Oh,
We
okay.
hear
Apparently I
you,
deselected
Commander.
the ship and it wouldn't let me mark her. That's noting. Yes, we'll just put a defend marker here. There we go. Here. Okay. Wait, can I not? Hang on.
What are our orders, Commander?
Well, I'm not going to find out now if I can test that or not, but... I was going to say, can I not place a defend marker on one of those flashy tracks?
Receiving.
That's something I'll have to test later, so chat, make a note, and don't let me forget, okay?
Moving out, Commander.
All counting on you.
Ready, wizard. Acknowledged.
Mists can join back up with our carrier. We'll just attach the two of them together since they go hand in hand. Same
Aye, aye.
salvo
Order.
size, same goodies. Yeah, should be
Moving
time.
to that position.
We can now actually move up to that position and
This
see.
must be the Marauder class from the intel
Oh.
briefing. They saw 2 of these in the attack force at Emmet Time. Definition of a hack job.
Bulk cargo haulers armed to the teeth and sent out to face down real warships. An ugly solution. These are meant to be the backbone of the blockade, pouring fire into a narrow gate aperture, not fighting on equal footing in nearly open space. Hard to believe that the Separatists are ripping civilian ships from the hands of their own people for this.
If I was making the calls, I'd do the same thing. You work with what you've got. But that begs the question of how the Protectorate managed to put together a navy like this in just a few months. It takes the Naval Office a year just to lay down a reins.
The threat of losing a war is a great motivator. Those shipyard workers know that everything is on the line now.
They should have thought of that before they started this war.
So yeah, that's a bit more world building set here, going to show just how inefficient the ANS is, or rather the ANO. The ANS, like, when it comes to actually getting stuff, it can be good, but it's a bureaucratic hellscape. The OSP, when push comes to shove, they're like, okay, we need a navy. What can we build? And this is reflective of a bit of real life stuff, where the time between war is all like speculation. Oop, we're out of fuel. That's a minor issue. But when push comes to shove and you actually need stuff, it is the great
can we
moment
do for
of
you,
figuring out,
Commander?
okay, what actually works and what is a lemon.
We're underway.
And in this
Commander.
case, they just had to like
Got a job
figure out,
for
okay,
us?
here is our stuff. Let's make it happen. John Trader just barged in the best whole OSP ever made. When is he ever right? What do you mean, John Trader? What?
On station.
Missile.
Generally, what are you talking about here?
Acknowledged. We're on our way.
OSP probably can't easily produce
What
ships.
can we
That is
do for you,
correct. There is a
Commander?
reason why they are the way that
Aye,
they
aye,
are.
Commander.
Also, hello, Delica. I haven't seen you for a hot minute.
Understood. We're on
But yeah,
route.
War of Attrition, they have their resources as you see them. So, like, they're
Standing
fielding
by.
what they can as they can. Let's get our Void Soup launched. There we go. Total War does wonderful things to military-industrial complex. Yep, showing is like, all right, here is the stuff that we have. We need to
We're
make
ready
this
when
shit
you
work.
are,
It might not
Commander.
be the best,
Aye, aye,
but if it
Commander.
can function,
Moving
it can
out.
function.
On
And as it turns
station.
out, when one of these things unleashes a broadside into a area that, you've got fire control radars trained on, they're pretty fucking good.
Strap in, crew.
Just ask anyone who's played multiplayer about that. All things that they can easily produce ships, just not military ones. Yes, and this is the case where they have refit cargo haulers,
Consider it
where
done.
they had the really effective engines for long hauls, which is why the bulk freighter is so fast in one axis of motion. When you take all of the cargo these guys normally take out, and then replace it with a little bit of armor plating, and a whole lot of gun, you get some pretty cool results. So yeah. I highly recommend people look into the Tex Talks Battletech series. I think it's the
Standing by.
Marauder, not the Marauder, the Warhammer episode. There's some parallels to draw there about, like, okay, what is peacetime procurement?
Missile
What stuff
detected.
actually
Heads
works?
up,
What
crew.
stuff doesn't? How do you go about making
Consider it
these
done.
things go? So the OSP, being a very minor
Standing
breakout
by.
faction, one of the 13, I believe, that consisted
Moving.
of the Alliance's, kind of backing
Locked
forces.
in.
They are a small minority fringe group that broke off. So they're going to have to just use what they've got. Interpretation is OSP's industrial heartland non-military. Yep, they've got their industrial base. They have their 3-star systems. They've got all their various things producing and procuring there. So as far as things go, they can make things like the Barracuda. They are a handy backline far away from the frontline conflict. They can produce a shitload of stuff. It's just, they're not exactly the major ship-making yards that you see the Shelter Alliance source some of their big ships from, like, the Vauxhall.
What can we do for
I
you,
think the Vauxhall's the
Commander?
newest of the ships, actually, for ANS. It's definitely the more recent one, the, kind of fast cruiser design, as opposed to the more,
We're
older designs,
underway,
like
Commander.
the Reigns here, which is pretty, old as far as the hulls are concerned. I think is
Missile
in
detected.
canon, the oldest one still in service? Def can't underestimate liner salvos. Yep. And again,
Ready.
this is a case of, this is a technology that works.
Direct
It
to
doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to work good enough that you can make a lot of them. Because remember, the tool you have is infinitely better than the one that you don't. Right? If you're the Protectorate Navy and you have to choose between a good enough civilian refit ship and not having a Navy against a force that, has a Navy, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Copy that.
Yeah, multiplayer powered up the other day, and she got nasty flank swing and eviscerated 2 CHs with them being held in place. Yep.
Locked
If you want to
in.
see what liners can
Missile
do, just
warning.
watch my last Neb stream, where a pair of cocky heavy cruisers decide to go forwards, and I unmask and unleash 120 rounds of 250 AP into
We're
them.
on it.
It's pretty effective. I'm gonna clear out the minefields
Heads
here
up,
just for
crew.
safety's sake. Don't want somebody to step on one of these. Okay, we'll get ourselves going towards
Course
Caltrop
laid in.
now. Set back to full speed.
We're ready when
Bombers,
you are, Commander.
where are you?
On
Yeah, you
station.
guys can RTB. We didn't need you after all. 'Cause we got a wonderful strike off.
Receiving.
And we'll just get one towards that
Aye, aye,
line.
Commander. Moving out.
We are going to walk into a rock. So let's not. There we
We'll
go.
be there before you
Volume
know
of
it.
fire. Yes.
Burners out.
Okay, I will also mention this. So a lot of people will take issue with the phrase quantity is a quality
up,
of its
crew.
own. Because they think that, this just means have infinite number of them, best this thing, spam. Most of the time this gets talked about when it's the World War II example of tanks. Quantity is absolutely a quality of its own, not because it's best to send a bajillion spammed units out at someone, but having the ability to replenish losses, to consistently service, to just make something able to be
Standing
fielded
by.
consistently. It's one of the biggest factors for military procurement. And I would know this because I've dabbled slightly into military procurement field in my professional life. Yeah. We're going to use an example here as we fly along,
Orders,
which is the
Commander.
difference between the Soviet T-34, the American Sherman, and whatever the Germans make for it, right? So, the Soviet T-34 was the,
Send traffic.
mass-produced tank that you saw, because they made, so many of
Moving.
them that I think they were in the, 6-digit numbers. You had tons of the things. Were they the greatest? No. But in the battle of having a tank versus not having a tank is kind of good. Because it means that you have this force multiplying factor that is able to push a lot of areas that would normally not be assailable. Because you've got a mobile gun platform or bunker if you want to get immobilized and just say, all right, well, I guess we'll go here. I have to ask, what's your employment history? Interesting. I'm not going to get into that a little too much. That reveals a bit too much there. But yeah, I've worked. I'm not proud of like doing some of the job stuff that I have, where it's like kind of dabbling with a bit of military procurement things there. But it was a paycheck, and I thought I was doing the right thing at the time for it. So there's that.
What can we do for you, Commander?
I am forklift certified, which is always a fun thing to say. I'm thinking my next career thing is I'm like looking at my
Understood.
professional
We're
life and the
en
relative
route.
comfort I'm in. I might go into air traffic control because that's kind of a cool field that needs people in it. And let's be real, I'm qualified to sit in a chair and tell people what to do, right? So, plus if it's just me playing Neb all day, but I get paid for it, then hey, we'll take that. That's RTB. I think we're good here. But yeah, back to the point here. We're
We're ready
comparing
when
like
you are,
various tanks.
Commander.
So,
Awaiting
you get
orders,
something
Commander.
designed like the Soviet T-34. They make a whole bunch of them. It's the best tank, no, but they're able to replenish their losses. Compare this now to the Sherman. The Sherman tank in World War II had to be shipped across the ocean. There's design limitations on how big you can make this thing. Has to fit on a rail car, has to fit in the hold of a boat, has to be able to be sent across far away from its like home production service area, and then you need to have enough replacement parts and like fixing replacement parts, tooling, personnel, and such that you can maintain these things on the other side of the fucking planet. That's a pretty big difference. Again, these are examples of having quantity. Germans couldn't really field the quantity side of it. They tried, but their industrial base just wasn't quite there. That's why they had to go with the quality approach, trying to make better things. Well, you have a limited amount of resources and only like
Standing
so
by.
much personnel and time you can commit. You kind of try and make something that is better than the contemporaries. This is why the Germans went with something like the Panther tank, which was admittedly a lot more complicated than either the Sherman or T-34, and also in maintenance nightmare, Germans over-engineer everything. So this is the case of, okay, we can't go with one, so we gotta go with the other. Turns out being able to replenish your losses, or better yet, just find replacement spare parts, is a pretty big deal for staying in service. Anyone who's worked with like some cars that are notorious for breaking down if they have the wrong like oil or lubricant, or like they're, I don't know, just stored in the sun for a little too long, knows what I'm talking about when there's the maintenance
out,
queen of the
Commander.
bay, so to speak. So yeah. I think about German armor, best tank for the early war was not German. I believe it. Yeah. World War II is something that I'm not going to get into too much more, but this is a good example that people draw comparisons to. Ability to replenish, how many of these things you can effectively field, what is the difference between, you know, having a tool versus not having a tool. These are all big things to consider. Tying this back to NEP. A&S, as they said, took a year to like manage to lay down a range due to the bureaucratic hellscape, budgeting, other issues there. So, is the range good? Yes, it is also an old ship, so all the design iteration stuff has been already worked out. This is the range. You've got these loadouts. It's pretty simple. You get 4 slots on this thing. You build it this way. It's not that complicated anymore. It's still a mess. Protectorate Navy is able to bang out liners in like 3 months or something ridiculously short because they have a very pressing need to avoid all this bureaucratic bullshit and make ship now that is good enough. Remember, good enough is perfect when you are trying to make something to fill the role. You can then improve it afterwards. This is why you get your initial production runs and then design iteration improvements on stuff. Right? Take it from someone who has worked in manufacturing. Your initial run is always going to have something wrong with it. It's just finding out what is that like acceptable margin of failure and what meets the minimum operational threshold that you need to make your stuff work. Remember, when you have a choice between ship or no ship, take the ship. It doesn't have to be great, but it does have to be there. If it's there, that's good. It's like how they say showing up at a job is half the job. Seriously, like I've dealt with some people before who are really flaky. If you have to wonder if a guy is actually going to come in on Tuesday or not, it's not so great. If you know he's going to be there on Tuesday and he will bring lunch for you, that's fantastic. Thank you again, buddy, for bringing me lunch that one day. I was very upset when I didn't have it, but he bailed out for me, so appreciate that. Alliance Naval Office, especially similar to U.S. Bureau of Ordnance, start of World War II, especially when it came to stuff like the Mark 14. Yep, that's a nice comparison. The torpedo that the Americans made was admittedly not bad in its tested environment. This was a case of listening to feedback. American Bureau of Ordnance didn't believe that their torpedo was faulty, they just thought people were using it wrong. Turns out the seeker was just, I say seeker, the sensor at the end of it was just calibrated wrong, because it was based off of magnetic signature, and when you go different places in the world's magnetic sphere is a little bit funky. This meant that a bunch of people got really annoyed with this until eventually push came to shove. They're like, all right, cut through this bullshit, figure this stuff out.
Ready when you are,
This is the difference between interwar periods, where your military is all speculation and testing and a lot of graft and like backroom dealing and stuff there, versus the moment of, okay, what do we got? What works? How many of those that work can we actually make? So, yeah, fun stuff. Hi, are we dead yet? Nope, we're doing pretty darn good. We just finished off the Beggar's Hollow here. We torpedoed the liner, it blew up, it was wonderful there. Yeah, had a good time and all. We're just gonna head out of the level now.
What can we
Go
do?
towards
Quiet,
Caltrop,
commands
and
on
that'll
the line.
probably be that then. Yeah. Everything is fine. Neko, stop tryharding. I mean, I kind of just torpedoed the liner without even like a second thought, because I got a
Aye,
really
aye,
good
yes,
unmask
Commander.
on the corner. Where was it? It was like right here. We managed to unmask before it even saw us. Got the like 8 torps landed because we didn't need to keep our fire control lock since we had the other ships providing it. It was just like that's probably the best torpedo run I've done like in memory. So, all right. Otherwise, magnetic pistol and depth keeping mechanisms both had issues. Same with gyro, occasionally locking up, causing it to veer off course even back towards the launching platform. Yeah, that's not good when you have a missile that decides to go home like a boomerang. Like Admiral King, who is a certified POS, coming down on the Bureau Ordnance like a ton of bricks to run fire and also explosive weapons to try and fix the thing. I remember there's another Admiral who just decided to stamp things because they had like 3 different stamps. There was like the level of severity. He just made his own rubber stamp that said frantic or something, which sounds like terrifying, and just started stamping stuff with that. I don't know how true this story is, but I love to imagine it's real. And he's like, yeah, this is frantic. Get this done first. Stop doing this bullshit. Here you go. Figure it out, guys. I need this shit now. Also, depth keeping mechanism Mark 14 is faulty and the backup impact fuse didn't work. Yeah, so it's just like, oh, we've tested all this stuff. It all obviously works. Like, have you though? Because I remember some things was just like, that was a actual flub. Where it's like, okay, yeah, magnetic thing. You tested it. It worked. I understand. You didn't predict for this thing on the other side of the planet having a different parameter there. But there's some cases where it's just like, guys, come on. You're really phoning
Moving
it
out,
in.
Commander.
We're underway.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll go to Caltrop. I think I'll probably do Caltrop today and round off our stream there. So, King is the highest level, and that's why the acquiesce so quickly. Yep,
Standing
and that's
by.
the case of, okay, essentially, you can play your fuck games until you need to actually measure up. And when you have to measure up, you better hope your shit can deliver. Yeah.
Awaiting
Large
orders,
scale
Commander.
anything is difficult. The higher, like, the larger your stuff gets, the more lethargic it is. Anyone who's worked with a large corporation knows this. It is a pain in the ass to get anything big to actually work. So, yeah. Alright, we'll just get out of this level, and we should be good now. No casualties, maybe like a scratch taken from that. But yeah, Caltrop's best map of the game. Caltrop is certainly a map of all time. Wish it was a multiplayer. Well, boy, I've got news for you. I will share an anecdote. Vren got really bad luck on this level, and I think that this was shown around, like, the Vren just, oh god, I'm stuck on Caltrop again, because something glitched for their campaign or something, and they couldn't use certain tools, so they just had to, like, bash their head against this thing, like, 10 times over. I feel so bad for the guy, but at the same time, it's really funny. Let's take a look. Where are those bombers at? Yeah, bombers. 8,666 damage. Liner. Removed. Womp womp. Your Ordnance was a good thing, since anyone dealing with him knew he could themselves suddenly reassign to Pacific Theater on front lines, which, well, the Admiral banged his life. That's a good one. It's like, all right, guys, sort this stuff out, or as they say in Hogan's Heroes, you're going to the Eastern Front. All right, replenishment can't do, repairs can't do, but yeah, we'll cap off the recording for that one, and then.